Well, happy Friday, everybody. Hey, Linda Anderson here from Linda Lou Creates. Thanks for joining me today. Yes, it is snowing outside, but I'm thinking summer. I know it's coming, but I'll tell you what, the snow is really throwing me for a loop. So I thought I would pull out this fun set from the mini catalog called Blueberry Bushels. Now, I know the last chance product list, the retirement list, has come out. This is not on it because it is then moving over to the online exclusives. So this set will be available down the road when the new catalog comes out. But don't wait until then. This is such a fun set, especially if you love to color. I do not, but my little story is, before I get into the cards, is last weekend I was in Dallas, Texas for a work-related event. And I had already stamped these images and cut them out. Took a couple of my stamp and blends and got going on coloring when I was in the room, couldn't sleep, all kinds of things. So I was able to get my coloring done. And I'm going to just show you just something fun with these then regarding the coloring. So these are the two cards. As you can see, this fun paper in the background, it's called Glorious Gingham. I love this paper. Just the colors that are included in there is fabulous. And I do love gingham, so I must admit that. So all right, so let me just move these off to the side for the moment because I want to just show you something real quick here. I just have a little piece of scrap paper. Now I'm just going to show you the leaves. As you know, the Stampin' Blends that Stampin' Up! Sells, they have the light and the dark of a particular color. What I discovered when I was coloring these was that I ended up mixing colors. So in this instance, for the leaves, I have the dark granny apple green and the light lemon lime twist. So you don't have to stay within the same color. I played around a little bit, and this was the color combination that I really liked for the leaves. So all I did is, remember, I'm lazy. So I wanted to just be as quick as I could with the coloring. So there's all I did for the granny apple green, that dark color. Now I'm going to come back with the light lemon lime twist. And this is where I do my really very specific blending. As you can see, all I'm doing is coloring over those lines that I just drew. And because if you work quickly and that ink is still, that alcohol ink is still kind of on the wet side, when you go over it with a lighter color, you are able to get the blend then to happen there. So that's what I did for the leaves. Let me bring it up a little closer without it getting too blurry. And I just really like the way that turned out. As far as the berries go, I forgot to grab those colors, sorry. And that I used then the Blueberry Bushel. Let me bring up, here we go. So the Blueberry Bushel is the dark color that I used. And then the Azure Afternoon in the light is what I used then to color in the berries and blend that out. So again, this is a mix of colors and I like the way it really turned out. So, all right, let's go ahead and use this and get going on this card right here. So let me just move some of my stuff aside. So I have my berries that I've already, the cluster here. I like that it has the two different clusters, and I also really like the fact that they've included sentiments in with this as well. So, all right, thick basic white top folding card for my base, 11 by 4 1/4. The score line is 5.5. So all I did was just put a little strip of scrap paper on the inside for that. I have, this is pecan pie here, and it's 4 by 5 1/4. the other piece of the DSP from this Glorious Gingham DSP pack. This is the Blueberry Bushel. Now, this one measures 3 by 4.5. All right. So I have Lemon Lime Twist, which is 2.5 by 3.5. My white, believe it or not, is 1/4 of an inch smaller. So that means it's 2.25 by 3.25. So my sentiment stamped in Blueberry Bushel, and then I just have a variety of either dies or punches, and I punched that out. So let's go ahead and get going on some of this. Now, you can see here then the 2 different ginghams that are part of this DSP pack. So I am just going to go ahead and adhere this one down, and then we'll get it down to the card base. And well, I hope this finds everyone having had a really nice Easter with family, friends. If it was quiet, if it was filled with family and joy, I hope you really had a great one then. So ours was very quiet since I was out of town. We actually celebrated the weekend before, so that was nice. But all right, so here we go with that. Now, before I do any adhering, excuse me, this piece of white, the 2.25 by 3.25, let me just pop it down. I don't know if you can tell in the background on this piece of white, I just blended a little bit of yellow. It actually is the lemon lolly that I used. So I have that, I have a blender brush, and I am very much heavy-handed when it comes to blending. So I really have to force myself to start off very, very light. Very, very soft pressure on this. See how I'm just kind of holding just the handle. Normally I push down on the top to get some very heavy blending. So, but this time I just want to add a little bit, kind of double check if I put my things down, my images down. Yeah, not bad. I just want to add just a smidge more, kind of right in the center, and then allow then the lighter to come out from the center here. So let me do that. And there we go, much better. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on the next card too, is add a little bit of this lemon lolly. So now I can go ahead and get this adhered down. I kind of liked the idea of doing it on an angle. So let me just set this down. My white is actually straight and square with the card, if that makes sense. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue just kind of right through the middle here. And like I said, my white is going to be square and line up with what we've already got down there. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead, put some dimensionals on the back here. Usually I try and have that done ahead of time, and I forgot this time. So let's get some dimensionals on the back of this. Everyone knows I love my dimensionals, so yep, we're going to lay them on pretty thick here. All right, so here we go. I will hurry up here and get this down. Now, sometimes when I want to do it on an angle, I really have to pay attention to the part that I want straight, if that makes sense. So I'm really looking at the white panel that I have and making sure it is squared up with the card itself. So it helps when you have the gingham, because then you have a line that you can sort of eyeball and get that straight there. So all right, so here we go. We have all of that down. Now all that needs to be put down is the berries. So I stamped this already, like I said, in the tuxedo, with the Memento Tuxedo Black, and then colored with my blends. That's the ink you're going to want so that it doesn't smear. So, all right, I'll get this down, get my sentiment down, and then all that's left is just to do a little bit of embellishing. And for that, here I have the pearls in the colors that are soon to be retiring. So these are the 2022 to 2024 in colors. So even though this is not Lemon Lime Twist, this is not Blueberry Bushel, it's Parakeet Party, Starry Sky, I'm still going to use those because I like the colors, the way they coordinated with my project. So never hesitate to kind of mix up your colors, whether it's with your blends or with your embellishments. So let's get a couple of these pearls down. And I'm just going to pop one up in here. And that is it. Here we go. There is card number 1. Let's get on to card number 2. I just love this stem here. So I knew I wanted to make some cards using this. So let's do that with this card. So Blueberry Bushel is this color for the card base. Again, top folding 11 by 4 1/4. On the inside, I have a 4 by 5 1/4 inch piece of basic white, and just, I don't measure, it's just whatever gets cut off on any of my projects. Then I keep those strips and I will put them on the inside then for a little decoration. And I like that because now I can still add my message and it looks pretty on the inside too. All right, speaking of the 5 1/4 by 4, I have another piece of that. This is where I'm going to build the front of my card. Will go on this. I have 2 pieces again of the Glorious Gingham DSP. So the blue piece here, this Blueberry Bushel, it is 4 1/4 by 1 3/4. And then I have a piece of the Lemon Lime Twist. It's 1 by 4. All right, so let's go ahead and adhere these 2 pieces down. And then I will bring in the other for the white and the lemon lolly. And then, so I like this, again, like I said, I love gingham, and I like that it definitely has like the on the angle, it bigger versus smaller. So I just really like this paper. And then it makes me sad when papers and stamps and things retire. I understand they have to, but it still makes me sad when they do. So here is my piece. You know what? Let's just go ahead and put this down to the card base. That way that will be done, and then we can get going to doing a little bit of blending on our white piece that holds the main image. All right, set that off to the side. So here we go. Once again, stamped in Blueberry Bushel, the same sentiment, but this time I used Lemon Lime Twist for my layer underneath. I have now this time this piece of white, just a little different in size, a little bit, it's 2 1/2 by 3 1/2. Now my lemon lolly that I'm going to layer it on is just, this time it's an 1/8 of an inch bigger. That's sort of my thing that I prefer to do. And that means that it's 2 5/8 by 3 5/8. So just like the other card, before we go anywhere, I'm going to go ahead and blend a little bit on this. It's very soft, very subtle, but I love the way it really makes that main image pop. So I tend to start in the middle, very lightly, work my way out. All right. And I know people always are, you know, start off light because you can always add more, but you can't take away. That's sound advice. However, like I said, I'm very heavy-handed, so I'm usually the one that's like, oh man, that looks a little dark. But that's just kind of the way I prefer it. So for some reason, I like the idea of it being darker in the middle. Honestly, it makes me think of the sun and then the rays coming out from that. So, all right, so there we go. I'm going to just pop this down. If I feel like I need any more, I can definitely add more, but I'm good with that. So let's go ahead and get this put away. And get these two adhered together. I then need to get some dimensionals on the back of it. Like I said, I usually like to try and have my dimensionals already on because I know I use a lot. And you don't need to see me popping them on, but I feel like I did not do that. I was not quite prepared this morning. So I need to get dimensionals on the back of both of these. So, wow, I did not get prepared very well at all. So there's the circle. With these sheets, the dimensional sheets from Stampin' Up, you use this entire sheet because all around it, the edges here are great for things like this when you're putting on. So you definitely get a lot out of a sheet of those dimensionals. So, all right, let me bring that card base back in because now I'm going to go ahead and adhere this down. And let's just pop that right about here. All right, I do have on my sprig here, I do have all those dimensionals already on. So I know I get made fun of for all of these, but this is how I roll. One more, I promise. There we go. All right, so I am going to just kind of put it at a bit of an angle, whatever's going to look right to you. And now, oh, you know what? I didn't want dimensionals on the back of this. I had this going flat on that white and yellow piece. So let me see if I can get these off. So see, I was prepared the right way. I just completely forgot. So now all I'm going to do, this will enable me to be able to just kind of slip it underneath then and fit it right in there. So let's go ahead, get some glue on that. And I'm going to slip it in there. Get that straight though. There we go. Awesome. There we go. Now let's go ahead and get those pearls back in here. And this time I'm going to go with the green, the Parakeet Party. So those will be the ones. On my sample, I made them nice and even and very organized. This time I'm going to not. So let's just kind of put them at bit of an angle here, and I'm going to pop that one right there instead. So that's what's fun about your embellishments. Go with where you want. So, all right. So here we go. And here is card number 2 now with the blueberry bunches and this awesome Glorious Gingham paper. Okay, let me bring the other ones in here. Here's the other one that uses the other image. Here is that stamp set that, like I said, you'll be able to continue to get. It'll be in the online exclusives then as well. So awesome. Hey, thank you guys for sharing a little bit of summertime with me. I really enjoyed this. I hope you did too. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. And I will see you back here next Friday. All right, bye now.